We are jumping in the car because we're going to go check out two duplexes in Oak Ridge, and we're just going to go over what all our property management company did for the landlord to get to the point where we have 4 vacant units and they're fully renovated. The point of the video is showing people that property management companies don't always take over at the optimal time. The landlord purchased the 2 duplexes with inherited tenants, the non-inhabitable environments. So we had to basically stabilize the units financially and with the tenants first, and then we could get to the rehab part of things. So we're going to jump in the car and go over to the duplexes and kind of just go over the before and after and where the property management came into play, what we can do that maybe a realtor or an attorney might not have the time or desire to do, but we can. And that entails evictions, letters, collecting old rent from an inherited tenant that knew a different landlord, things that maybe you haven't thought of as a landlord yourself or have in a situation where you purchase an off-market deal and realized, oh, there's a little bit of a gap here. I don't know how to just start renovating it if I got tenants I don't even know, and I don't know if they want to stay or go, increase rent. There's so many variables. Phone call I get about property management is maybe not what should be holding people back. And that is, hey, when my lease is up with these current tenants, I'm going to give you a shout and then we can do business together. Well, in reality, we might want to be involved a little bit sooner to help you. And it honestly, I don't make money doing a lot of this part of the property management. It's just to show you that we want to earn your business. And that goes with the letters and the court and a lot of different things. So we are heading over to Oak Ridge today because I'm going to look at 2 duplexes that I took over for management a couple months ago. And we inherited the tenants, as in the landlord inherited the tenants. Because of that, they were paying under market value. I think right around $400 to $600 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Oak Ridge. And obviously the landlord paid a significant amount of money for these duplexes. So he would have been bleeding cash monthly, keeping these tenants in the unit. Along with, they were uninhabitable. So just the living conditions of the property were very, very poor. And so the ethical and the most financial best decision for the property is to actually get the tenants out so we could renovate it. And we always tell tenants, you're more than welcome to apply and come back. That is our goal for anyone. It just has to make sense for both parties, and they have to get approved through our standard system. And we need time to renovate, and it's just not possible to do while they're living at the property. Step 1 in that deal was to actually drop off letters, go through the difficult conversations, and basically request that the tenants vacate in the next 30 days. And then we took possession. Out of the 4 units, 3 of them left before the 30 days were up. I think he was just confused in the process, and we had to go to court. And we gained possession that day because he went under oath and basically stated that he was already out, and he understood it at that point how things get serious if you have to go to court. So we got possession back very quickly, and at that point, other than the fee that I charged for the eviction itself, all of those letters, all the conversations, our property management company wasn't taking on any fees because that's just something we consider in the stabilization of a property. It just needs to get done. And then once the property starts performing and we create it to be a little bit more passive, we think that we should reap on those benefits, and that's when we start charging our fee. We're going to drive over there. I'm going to show you this property. It's going to be a little bit of a before-after video. I'll probably show you photos on this video of what it looked like when I walked it before the renovation, and then obviously we're arriving there today with it being renovated. But the main priority of this video is to actually teach landlords that I find that most landlords that call me that say, hey, I want to do business with you, but I'm going to wait till the lease is up with the current tenant and then I will switch over to you. there's some sort of like mental barrier. I don't know if it's just an emotional thing or they misunderstand the law. Like, we can assume those leases and follow those leases. As a property management company, it's obviously easier for us to follow our own lease because we have systems and processes and rules that are standard. But, for the right landlord with the right situation that wants to hire us, like, we're more than willing to take on a lease that's not ours and abide by those rules set in that lease, so that way we can earn that landlord's business. And with larger portfolios, it's pretty uncommon to have 100% vacancy, because that would be like thousands of dollars lost on a portfolio. So those of you that have one or two and you're waiting for the lease to end to call the property manager, I'll say this: if you're bleeding cash or you feel unstable, like, make the call. If it's to us, great. If it's to another property management company, that's fine as well. But they can help you get out of the situation that you're in right away. It's just, they may have certain fees, certain structures. Something that I do, like, I had quoted a realtor that was buying a property off market just yesterday, and she was asking me, how much does it cost for you guys to facilitate the eviction, or at least just get the tenants to exit the property? And I explained that, it'd roughly be about $500 for us to do that, assuming that that was the only service they were wanting from us, because we're more after the long-term management of the property for the cash flow just as much as the landlord. So if they're looking at the property as a flip, it kind of interrupts our day in the portfolio we manage if we have to facilitate something outside of the portfolio, and it has to be worth it for us to get involved. So, us dropping off letters, communicating with tenants, those are things that are free inside of our traditional management that we offer inside the portfolio. But for an outside investor trying to come in and just use like one little thing off of our menu, we do bill for that. So that's all to say, certain property managers, certain property management companies will tell you it may or may not be worth their time depending on what you need done. So just call around. You'll probably get quoted high or low depending on if they have time or it's worth it in their eyes. We're all just small business owners, so that market value can vary widely, and I'm always very open with that with my customers. So let's jump in. I want to talk mostly on the video about different times that I've had customers start with us, because every customer starts in a different position. It can be a fully stabilized property or a completely like just out there property with crazy tenants, terrible rent, tons of maintenance backlogged, and anything in between. So I'm just going to show you this couple duplexes. They are going to be up for sale soon, so that's a big win. And we'll go from there. See you around. So we just made it to the property. This is just kind of behind Kroger. So there's these two duplexes right here that we just got renovated. I'm going to show you, while I'm filming this, the before and after photos. So this was all done in under 8 weeks time. I did not do the renovation, so I'm not trying to take credit for that at all. It's just that the landlord had us show up when the before pictures were hit, and you're looking at them right now. We had to introduce ourselves to the tenants, get them onboarded into our system, because the landlord did not renovate all of them at once. We did one side, or one structure, then the second structure. So we were collecting rent for a month or so from the tenants we acquired from the distressed landlord, I would consider it. Then we documented the condition of the units and then served the 30-day notices kind of in a waterfall, not all at once, because we just didn't want to have vacancies all at once. We wanted to have a little cash flow come into the property. But that back unit on the left here is what we started with. So those tenants moved out pretty quick. Contractors started that unit, and then in another 30 days I served the tenants on the right their notice to vacate. And then that one out of the 4, we had to go to court, sadly, But other than that, everyone played ball pretty well, and we gained possession back very quickly. And it's not guaranteed every time to be that fast, but luckily we got into the unit on the right and the contractor got it renovated. And now the landlord is actually going to sell these to a lucky investor, but I'm going to prove that we can get $1,400 on hopefully all of these leased up as soon as possible. So my photographer was out here yesterday and got the photos of the after shots, and we will be putting these on market for rent. And the realtor that the landlord uses will be listing these soon. And so if you're watching this, you actually have a little bit of a early notice compared to the market that these 2 duplexes in Oak Ridge are for sale. I do not know the number, but reach out to me through email and I will connect you with the realtor or the seller, and you can work it out and hopefully have me continue manage the properties, as we've done a lot of work to get these stabilized. Obviously they're vacant right now, so we have to get tenants in them to ultimately get them to cash flow, but we've done a lot of work to be able to get the tenants out of honestly non-livable situations that I'm glad they're gone and they can live in hopefully a better situation now. And we have newly renovated units that are going to be a good home for somebody at a great rate. $1,400 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, great parking off street, separate little decks and patios on the back as well. Obviously, upgraded siding, windows, doors, pretty much everything this property got. So don't quote me on that. I'm just visually looking at these and thinking, what was different when I first saw these? And they were like turquoise structures with old roofs and everything in between. So let's get out and look at them now. Ooh. So I haven't even walked in these yet. I want to know how they look. These on the right here, they look amazing. I even put new stone down, growing some grass here. I'm stepping over and let's get into the unit. So we're in the unit. I'll shut the door. So yeah, we're just in this 2-bedroom, super echoey, 1-bath unit. I'm gonna show you right here the front yard, kind of how it looks. So this is the parking spaces, and there is the other unit. And we're just off a side street. I actually own a duplex off the road perpendicular to what we're on, but we're just kind of behind Oak Ridge right now, or the Kroger in Oak Ridge. And so I'll flip it around. Just want to do a little bit of a day in the life. Obviously, I'm just in a vacant rental right now, but I felt like most of our YouTube videos were actually just like in the office. And we've done a lot of training videos and teaching. I did some vlogs up north, so I kind of wanted to get back out to the property and just do some things where we can show you day in the life again. I will say what I previously brought up. I want this video to be about when's the proper time to call a property manager. And a lot of small landlords wait for the lease to end because they think that between leases is a good time to pivot. And it really is. It is a good time. But it's not, it doesn't have to be at that point. Like a property manager can take over a lease and start managing on that lease just as if you hired somebody to work for you directly instead of contract us. So a lot of people wait till the summer, and that's when we gain a lot of business. At the same time, I like the landlords that, kind of think about it in the winter months, and so we can prep for it, especially the larger portfolios. It gets crazy busy in the summer, and I can only take on so many clients right now because we've already onboarded like 13 houses this month. And so it's just a quality control metric where we bring on too many and all of a sudden we're probably going to do bad on our clients, and then I'll get a bad name, and then no one will call me, and then no one will watch these videos, and no one will really care. And then all of a sudden your business isn't worth anything. So the concept is we want to have controlled growth and just bring on, a responsible amount of landlords at a time. And I think that is a key thing to be asking your property manager when you interview them. So go ask when you're in the market what people will be, or what those property managers will accept and how many will they take on in a month. I will say our staff right now can only handle another 50 units. So, if that's one landlord calling for that has, those 50 units, great. If it's 50 landlords, which is, it would be a little tough, but that's our peak of what we can handle before we hire more staff members and start growing it out. So we have 5 full-time team members for the 250 that we're going to cap out at. And that's kind of the total business plan. And so, and that's actually really competitive. I've noticed that people managing more and have less team members, and that gets into a labor hour issue where there's so many labor hours to properly manage these things, and one person could probably tap out at 60 or 70 a week, but in reality, when we all put in 40 and you got 5 people, that's 200 labor hours a week, right? So you're just not going to compete with the level of detail that hopefully we're providing. And, other people are probably, they may have more. I'm not sure what our competitors do all the time. I just notice I have taken over some of these types of properties like this, where the property manager is doing it all on their own, and they have like 300 units. And that is to handle the vacancies, the showings, the maintenance requests, the move-in inspections, the move-out inspections. You physically can't be at that many units successfully managing them and keeping them stabilized. It's just a failed concept. And that'll probably piss off a lot of people, but it's just the reality. So I just give you kind of like a little lapse there. That's the whole property. It's really cool. So this is the after, and if I show you a little befores, here's another couple of before photos. Pretty crazy. If you have any questions on trying to think of things that we could talk about. I really didn't go into this video trying to do anything specific other than to get out, look at some units that we manage, talk about these duplexes, how they're for sale and for rent. The for sale is somewhat of a secret yet because they're still about to list it, not on market quite yet, but reach out if you want details. I'll definitely connect you. And then the for rent, we thought between the landlord and I, it'd be smart for me to fill these units so that way we could show that we really can get $1,400 a door. And that's our goal. And I have other units very similar to this in the area getting those numbers. So I'm feeling pretty confident, but I think that it'll be fun to kind of do another video or put on my story at some point showing our goal was 1,400 per door. Did we get that on all 4? Did we get it on any of them? That is going to be where we kind of put our money where our mouth is and put that out here and see where we end up. So keep looking on market. I'll probably put the link in the bio for these if you have somebody looking to rent, and you can kind of see where they're getting priced at and if I'm having to come down on them or if I'm able to get maybe a little bit more, who knows. So, man, look at these kitchens. Look at this kitchen. Shaker cabinets, LPV floor, pretty standard, but just the fact that this can get done in 4 units in less than a couple months is kind of crazy. Biscuit. Cool. Hook up for your washer and dryer right there. The light. One of the things that we always suggest to landlords when it is multifamily, even a duplex, just include the lawn mowing in the rent. So that way tenants do not have to do it, because typically on the lower end rentals, so something sub 15, maybe sub 1600, and there's a shared yard, you're not going to get the lawn mowing quality out of the tenant that you'd like to think you could. So, we'll find someone competitive. We have a couple guys we use for our lawn mowing, no one specific, but we obviously fight for the price to be as cheap as possible, and they come out here a couple times a month and just get it done. It's going to save you letters from the city or anyone else complaining, and it's going to keep tenants happy, and it's going to make them have more of a passive experience, and that's just what it is and the desire they have as a renter. So again, if you got 2 doors, handle the lawn care. It's worth it. And you'll be able to drive by that property you own and be more proud of it, because we both know that the best people that are going to take care of your property are probably the lawn mowing companies and potentially not the tenants, sadly, at these multifamily. Now, single family, I put that pressure on the tenant, and I actually do the opposite, where we will send letters and ask them to mow the lawn to make sure they're doing it. And sometimes it turns into them sending us photos, depending on, if that tenant's been following the rules or not. So single family, they should be doing it. It's going to save you money, and it's something that can cost a lot of money per door if you have a single family portfolio. So like one of these lawns, not going to be that expensive, and you have 4 rentals on the property. So that makes sense financially to get it done on the landlord side. But if it was just a house and you're covering 4 houses, that's a lot of lost cash flow. So leave your comments down below of what you feel. If you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong, if there's better ideas. I'm always learning myself. I am not trying to be cocky and tell you this is the law. It's just what I have learned and has been working the best for me. So other than that, I'm going to drive back home, get back to the office, do some work. You've seen these units. You've seen my face long enough. Subscribe, like, hit the bell down there. It notifies you when I post more videos, and you can watch me. I try to put out these posts every week on a Wednesday, but it just depends. Sometimes work just piles up and I can't get to these things. But so far, we've been having 1 video a week since January 1. So I've been very adamant on getting these things out. So thank you. We will see you. Rent is due. It's actually April 2nd, so it actually is due. So pay your rent, please. Please pay your rent or your mortgage. Do it. Do it now. See ya.